Welcome. My name is Kwabena. Welcome. I want to share today with you an introduction or the introduction of the book that I wrote, Streamline, How to Teach Yourself Money, Financial Education. Most human beings are not intentional with the kind of information that we need to get to where we want to go. Very few people really read books to improve themselves and in the things that they want to see progress, and finance is one of them. So I put my thought on this book, and I so that at least anybody who finds it will make some meaning out of some of the sentences that we put in this book. So Streamline, How to Teach Yourself Money, Financial Education, that's the subtitle. So the world as we knew it changed in 2020 when COVID-19 disrupted our economies and movement, but not so much in Africa. It has never become more important to financially educate ourselves like now. It requires a strong understanding of money, or stronger understanding of money, and how we relate with money, job, and career. Around the world, many would lose their jobs, and many businesses would have to change their approach of doing business. If your business is still profitable or even exists at the end of 2020, you really have done well. Money and what we call investment will change going forward. Those of us in Africa have not been that affected, as we have not really been part of this global prosperity bubble. Africa largely has been branded to be the whole different continent on its own, with all kind of descriptions which are very negative and wrong. And so the so-called global financial system, Africa largely is not so much, and that's why a lot of the times when major things happen, we seem to be not so much affected. So our economy is largely pay as you go. Our economy is not so much on the credit basis, especially at the individual levels. The government may go to some of these organizations to borrow, but not so much at the individual level. So the kind of information that you need to survive and to succeed in Africa is largely different in terms of finances. So individuals don't run on credit. Different skill sets and upgraded understanding of money will be needed to be part of the prosperity of Africa. Growing up, we thought to become rich meant going to school, traveling to some of these countries that have been packaged as wealthy. So you see some of these countries on TV. It was financial way out, having a good job, occupying a big government positions. And any of these, if you become rich, it's not because of these. They may give you some basic steps, but really structural wealth, long-term wealth, generational wealth, the one that is beyond your salary, waiting for the salary at the end of the month, it needs better information. So we were conditioned with that script, and which most of us will agree is not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true that when you go to school you become wealthy or you have financial freedom, financial success. Or it's not true that when you travel you will succeed. And it's not true that when you have a good job you will financially become independent. And it's also not true that when you occupy a government position you'll be rich. A lot of the people in the government positions, when they are rich, we know why they became rich. So few grew up with the right understanding of money, how it is acquired, how it is preserved, and how it is multiplied. For many of us, our knowledge of money is limited to how to work to get salary and how we use it to get the basic necessities of life. Others are told that their prosperity in the hands of another man, their government, or their church. When reality hits, then they discover the truth that their prosperity is in their own hands. The earlier you accept that you are responsible for your financial success, the better for all of us. So building houses or buying cars do not mean we are rich. Some people think that when you have a car, when you have a house, it means you're rich. It's not necessarily as it is. Building a house or owning a car is beating poverty. Beating poverty and being rich are not necessarily the same. A lot of people have houses and cars but have no structure, business, investment that makes them money consistently. So wealth creation is systemic, is structural, The mindset of the rich is different from the mindset of the poor or the average. Right financial knowledge brings financial prosperity. That is the first thing. The investment that you have made in knowledge. The rich think differently about money. The poor man will think differently about money. The rich and those in the middle also have a different understanding of money. Again, financial knowledge is as necessary to build financial systems in solving economic problems, and being rewarded is something we have to be aware of. Again, let me take that line again. Financial knowledge as a necessary tool to build financial systems in solving economic problems, and being rewarded is something we have to be aware of. Those of us who don't come from well-to-do families, it is likely that our financial data is wrong, and that is seen in the choices and decisions we make when we get money. If the data that you have on money is right, we will see it when you have money in your hands. And as they say, we can only do better if we know better. So most of us don't do better financially because our financial knowledge is no better. This knowledge is responsible for the financial skills we have built over our lifetime. The good thing is that if we get the right knowledge and put it to practice, we acquire the needed skills which will be responsible for the financial results that we want to get. So if we continually struggle with debt, it means our financial decisions are not rightly thought out. If we cheat and lie to get money, it means that the financial data is wrong. If we spend all that we have on consumables and have nothing saved or invested for the future, it means that we don't have the right financial knowledge or skill. Those with the right financial skills are good with cash flow, financial planning, daily financial choices, expenses, income, loans, and their repayment with interest, how our financial institutions work, and many more. The answer is in the right acquisition of the right money data. That is the principles of money, and more importantly, putting them into practice. Everything about our money life rests on the money data we have. If it is good, our choices will be good, and if it is bad, our money choices will be bad. Everyone uses money, and yet very few of us read or study about money, and that is why many of us struggle with money. This is why it does not matter our level of education, the kind of profession or salary bracket. If the money data is wrong, it becomes difficult to take full responsibility of our finances. There are laws and principles that guide everything in this world. If we don't know or understand the principles that apply under any specific situation, we will make mistakes. We cannot grow until we get the right fundamentals, and the pathway of growth is painful and disheartening. Growth is not so much happy and enjoyable process. It stretches a lot of things, So it is important to know that without very intentional, constructive, focused, consistent education on money, we will not be properly informed on money. We will just have an opinion on money, and we don't become prosperous with just an opinion about money. Our concept of money will determine whether we will lack or have money as we go through life. There are so many problems in life, but the money problem should not be part of the problems. People with money have problems. But you see, when you have other problems and you have to have money problems, then that's double. Sadly, it is the number one problem many people have. We worry about money all our lives because of what we know or what we don't know about money. I've shared in this book some basic personal understanding on money and how any of us can move from a state of struggle to being able to develop the right mindset, skill set, and the needed sense of personal responsibility to create a better financial life and future. Life is continually upside down until we build the right skills. Some will build businesses, some will work for those who build businesses or the government, but whatever it is that you do, if you have the right financial skills, you will be able to build the financial future that will help you to enjoy life, help many people, and live your dreams and aspirations. You don't have to sell your soul to do this. You can keep your values and still have financial freedom and be truthful in your dealings. You don't have to be a crook to have money. Financial success is in us having the right financial skills and taking responsibility in building our financial systems, our personal financial systems, and following them through. God has already blessed us. God has already blessed us with every resources needed to be successful. Examples are our talents, our natural drives, energy, relationships, natural resources, brains. It is up to us to make things happen. And if we fail to do so, we should not blame anybody for this. Not the government, God, the devil, or whoever. Our only problem will be our ignorance of this reality. The reality that God has already blessed us. And so if you have financial problems, it does not mean you are cursed. It is very likely to be financial ignorance. We can only be controlled when we allow someone to control our mind, our time, and our money, or our resources. Our intelligence is developed by the questions we ask, and the more we are able to critically think. That is why you should never let anything take charge of your mind and what it feeds it, because what it feeds you is what you produce. Take note of religious teachings that undermine the value of how powerful your mind is when it is well developed. Your life reflects the state of your mind, how you have nurtured that mind. Read books on money, at least a book every month, and practice it. Don't leave your financial well-being to chance, lottery, or miracles. Don't wait for miracle to change your finances. The mind is a very powerful tool God has given us, and if you lose it, you will lose our very existence. When you lose your mind to wrong teachings, you lose your very existence. If you go to a room full of gold bars and the room is dark, you will not know that the room is full of treasures until you put on the light. The light does not put the gold bars there, it just reveals them. It is the same thing with the treasures we have within us. It takes light, right light, to reveal them. That light is knowledge.